Federation of Free Workers (FFW). Background: the Federation of Free Workers was founded on 19 June 1950 by a group of young, idealistic, sincere, and dedicated labor leaders led by one Satan who were inspired by the Christian teachings of Reverend Father Walter G. Hogan, S.J., thus becoming the first labor federation which appeals to and draws its inspiration from the social doctrines and principles of Christianity. It is a national trade union center in the Philippines and has a dues-paying membership of around 40,000. FFW is registered under the Department of Labor and Employment and is affiliated with International Labor Organization with the mission to help workers from different sectors of society unite in a trade union to realize decent work through FFW Christian Social Democratic programs. FFW is also considered as a national trade union center in the country considering its size and membership of 8 trade federations and 2 special sector federations. Among civil society movements, FFW is known as the oldest trade union social movement in the Philippines that is still in existence. Their headquarters is located at FFW Building 1943 Taft Avenue, Malate, Manila, Philippines. Leadership: 1. C. Tan. In 1950, Hogan and Tan decided to form a trade union federation, the Federation of Free Workers, with Tan becoming its president. It was soon followed by the Federation of Free Farmers. The FFW supported a strike at the University of Santo Tomas, this leading to Hogan being exiled, and Tan becoming the leading figure in the organization. For their role in organizing unions, Tan and his colleagues were soon tagged as communists. He regularly represented the FFW at the International Labor Organization and came to international prominence. In 1963, he became General Secretary of the Brotherhood of Asian Trade Unionists, in 1974 becoming its president. In 1981, he was also elected as the president of the World Confederation of Labor, serving until 1989. In the early 1990s, Fidel Ramos asked Tan to become Secretary of Labor and Employment, but Tan believed this would prevent him from taking an independent position. In 1994, he agreed to become chair of the Social Security System. In 1998, Tan suffered a stroke, standing down from his role in the FFW and switching to become commissioner of the Social Security System. He remained president of the Brotherhood of Asian Trade Unionists, serving until his death in 2005. A number of FFW leaders are active in the social democratic movement, while others are with the Christian and Muslim Democratic Movement. Some FFW activists founded the Philippine Democratic Socialist Party in the 1970s, and older officers led the Christian Social Movement in the 1960s. FFW officer Alex Boncaya was a martyr of the National Democratic Movement in the 1970s. Recently, some officers are also active in the newly founded Centrist Democratic Labor Association and the Centrist Democratic Party. Attorney Sani Matula, National President. Attorney Jose Sani Matula is the President of Federation of Free Workers. Attorney Matula was an organizer and education officer for FFW and the Institute of Social Order before he became a lawyer. He is also a law lecturer at the Manuel L. Quezon University, School of Law, University of Manila, College of Law, and University of Perpetual Help, College of Law. He once served as an executive director of the Presidential Anti-Graft Commission and commissioner representing the workers' group of the Social Security System of the Philippines. He is on his second term as he was re-elected for another 5-year term on June 21, 2016. He was the workers' delegate of the Philippine delegation to the 101st, 104th, and 107th International Labor Conference in Geneva in 2012, 2015, and 2018 respectively. He had been also an advisor for a number of times of the Philippines tripartite delegation to said conferences. Achievements: implementing the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 and red tagging which are in compliance with international standards and impact union rights. FFW Project for Kasambahay Domestic Workers. Federation of Free Workers emphasizes the urgent need for legislative actions to address the long-standing issue of poverty wages among Filipino workers. Challenges. The challenges including mistrust from business owners and the public, racial and ethnic division, anti-union measures, and the integration of immigrant workers. Partnerships. Among the prominent affiliates of FFW with collective bargaining agreements are in education institutions, banks, pharmaceutical and electronics companies, Ateneo de Davao, Central Philippine University, University of the East Ramon Magsaysay, Philippine School of Business Administration, National College of Business Administration, University of San Agustin of Iloilo, branches of the Bank of the Philippine Islands, BPI Family Bank, Philippine Clearing Country Bankers, Malayan Insurance, the Temic Semiconductor, Temic Continental, VC Philippines, United Pulp and Paper, Oro Port of Cagayan de Oro, Thomas National Transport, Avis, Europe Cars, Mitsubishi, San Roque, Metals Mining, Philippine Mining, Lepanto Mining, Delphi, Coca-Cola, Pfizer, Bowie Takeda, SmithKline, Beecham, AstraZeneca, PHI Pharmaceutical, Bayer Philippines, Johnson & Johnson, Interflow Laboratories, Globe Telecom, among others. FFW is an affiliate of International Trade Union Confederation other than the ITUC. The FFW is also affiliated to Building and Woodworkers International, Education International, Industry or Global Union, ITUC Asia Pacific, and the ASEAN Trade Union Council. FFW has actively participated in the activities of the International Labour Organization. Its president, Antonio Sani Matula, was the workers' delegate of the Philippine delegation to the 101st, 104th, and 107th International Labour Conference in Geneva in 2012, 2015, and 2018 respectively. He had been also an advisor for a number of times of the Philippine tripartite delegation to said conferences. Since the 1950s, from the election of President Ramon Magsaysay, FFW has always been represented either as workers' delegates or advisor in the Philippine delegation to the International Labour Conference. Kilusang Mayo 1. Background. Kilusang Mayo 1 is an independent and democratic labor center promoting genuine militant and anti-imperialist trade unionism. It is genuine because it recognizes the struggle between labor and capital and is faithful to upholding the interests of the working class. Militant because it relies on the workers' collective struggle in defending trade union and democratic rights. And anti-imperialist because it seeks to end imperialist domination and control over the Philippines. Kilusang Mayo 1 officers assert that the labor organization has been in the forefront of struggles when Filipino workers experience distress due to economic or business crisis. Since it was organized, KMU has consistently issued statements to protect the rights of workers, mainly political and economic, started even before the Marcos regime. Economic crisis still persists that workers not limited to the farmers, industrial laborers, and the marginalized poor was left with no choice but to organize and protect their labor rights. Despite the threats of the fascist leadership of the then administration, Filipino workers formed and within the Araneta Center at Cubao, Quezon City on May 1, 1980, the KMU was founded, and up to this date, it continues to support local labor unions despite unending challenges. From then on, KMU mainly served as a central labor union for all types of workers to have a collective and unified spirit, one in pursuit on their fight to constitutional and labor rights, particularly in organizing unions, the rights to collective bargaining agreement, and the right to strike. Part of their mandate is to encourage every union member to be dauntless in affirming their rights and in helping the Filipino public discern the country's current situation despite various claims and malicious allegations, which constantly damage or at the least affect their reputation and advocacies through extensive educational programs. Being part of the indigent society at a young age, labor leaders of the KMU has been awakened by the necessity to fight for their rights and the need for nationalism. Their experiences in the era of martial law have led them to join the movement for labor's freedom to voice and representation. In the face of numerous struggles, these leaders have shared their knowledge from members to members to spread consciousness and the importance of cognizance, most especially in times of paucity of information from various sources. In relation to the social movement unionism, KMU has promoted an image as genuine militant and nationalist to foster social empowerment. KMU is focused on pursuing a deeper, more profound, justice-centered social movement unionism that involves workers to address exploitative and hazardous work conditions. Leadership. Elmer Cabong Calagi Labog, born August 3, 1955, is a trade union and labor activist from the Philippines who is the national chairperson of the militant group Kilusang Mayo Uno, the largest trade union in the country. He is also the vice chairperson of Bagong Alyansang Makabayan and the chairperson of International League of People's Struggle in the Philippines. During the 2022 Philippine general election, he ran independent under Makabayan for senator. He first became an activist during the Marcos dictatorship. Preceding this, his political consciousness was shaped by joining youth organizations such as Samahang Demokratiko ng Kabataan 1972 and Student Catholic Action 1972 to 1973. He became employed in the service industry and became officers of the National Union of Workers in Hotel, Restaurant, and Allied Industries in 1977 and the Genuine Labor Organization in Hotel, Restaurant, and Allied Industries in 1986. Labog became a full-time organizer of KMU in 1982 and became its chairperson in 2003. He has become a leader in trade union organizing which struggle for workers' rights, which include higher wages, lower prices of commodities, attainment of basic social services, and greater representation in the government. He has been present in many mobilizations that seek to uphold workers' rights. He has also become a major resource speaker and organizer for labor unions around the country. Internationally, he has represented KMU and other Filipino workers in various international conferences. He was head of the labor delegation for the International Labor Organization in 2016. He became head of ILPS Philippines in 2011. He called for justice for the Bloody Sunday Massacre, which has also killed trade unionists. In March 2022, while citing as positive development the minimum wage review of the Department of Labor and Employment, Labog continued to call for a $7.50 minimum wage. He criticized the Duterte administration for only raising the minimum wage twice despite the high rate of inflation. Achievements. The organization also engaged in political reforms in bureaucracy and other national issues to which live up to their slogan, Tagapamandila ng tunay palaban makabayang unionismo, genuine militant and nationalist unionism. Recurring crises that affect workers led the KMU to live up to its brand of incorrupt unionism to remain in the service of protecting the workers from anti-labor practices of both the government and the capitalists, similar to the initiatives of Karl Marx on anti-exploitation. Moreover, concerns specifically on the initiatives on wage increases, job security, workers' rights, health and safety conditions, women empowerment, fight against neoliberal policies, genuine agrarian reform, national industrialization are the core of KMU concerns. KMU has spearheaded a long-standing campaign for the elimination of contractualization and the regularization of all types of workers to enjoy equity in benefits and security to tenure. In addition to the issue of employment contractualization, KMU also advocates for wage increases. A recurring challenge for labor groups is to call for the adjustment of minimum wages in relation to inflation and the consumer's purchasing power. In KMU's view, wage hikes are justified given that worker productivity between 2009 and 2017 grew by 35%. Given the small adjustment in wages, a large part of productivity went to the share of capital as profits. KMU has also vigorously opposed the tax reform of acceleration and inclusion train law, which provided for a decrease in income taxes for low-wage earners, but increased taxes on some key commodities such as power, gasoline, sugar, and other consumer items. Even if the train law was enacted, the KMU continues to call for its suspension. Challenges. The KMU is one of the remaining resilient left-wing labor federation in the Third World. It still maintains a presence in present-day politics, especially when it comes to bread and butter issues. But the federation is also a body-splintered organization, with the faction in power becoming the most dogmatic and inflexible. Background. The Trade Union Congress of the Philippines (TUCP) or Katipunan ng Manggagawang Pilipino (KMP) was established on 14 December 1975 by the renowned trade unionist and labor leader Attorney Democrito Quito T. Mendoza along with other leaders of its member organizations. TUCP up to now is the most representative labor center in the Philippines, with 27 labor federations and organizations under its umbrella. Its members are from all sectors and industries: agriculture, manufacturing, and services, including government employees, overseas Filipino workers (OFWs), and informal sector workers. TUCP currently has 750,000 dues-paying members from among the 27 member federations. TUCP was founded in 1974 during the Marcos dictatorship in order to provide a platform for labor unity to support the martial law regime. TUCP's vision is to be the prime mover in protecting the rights and advancing the interests of workers in a just and human society. Its mission is to unify the labor movement and protect the interests of the working class. Its core principles include democratize wealth, incomes, and power, build democratic organization, and instill nationalism, solidarity, equity, and social responsibility. Improve conditions of work and life of workers and their families, including non-members, protect workers' wages and job security, and preserve vigilance over the deterioration of working conditions, strengthen bargaining position of unions, work toward industrial peace and development, enhance internal and international solidarity and cohesiveness among unions of the world, and adhere to principled collaboration with government, other workers' organizations, and institutions. TUCP's statement of objectives are as follows: a democratic society where fundamental human and trade union rights are deeply respected, a sustainable economy that ensures decent jobs, living wages, and the equitable distribution of wealth, a dynamic and responsive labor sector that is well-educated, responsible, vigilant, and cohesive, that takes the lead in advancing the welfare of the masses, empowered communities that are self-reliant and energized to harness participation of all, families that are provided adequate opportunities for stability, growth, and development, and citizens who fully participate in the process and gains from the benefits of a democratic life. Leadership. Raymond Democrito Cañete Mendoza, born July 7, 1962, is a Filipino lawyer, politician, and labor leader serving as the representative of the Trade Union Congress Party since 2009 and is currently one of the deputy speakers in the House of Representatives. Attorney Arnel Dolendo as General Secretary and Philippine Government Employees Association, Esperanza Ocampo as Treasurer. Achievements. TUCP's current advocacies are to prohibit and criminalize labor contractualization and to strengthen worker security of tenure in line with the policy statements of President Duterte. Involvement of trade unions in labor compliance, inspection systems, and mechanisms. Tax reforms to provide economic relief to workers, increasing the pension of retired workers, legislated national wage increase, Philippine Senate ratification of ILO Convention 151 on public sector workers' right to self-organization, ensuring a reliable supply of electricity and reduction of expensive power rates towards job creation and poverty alleviation, creation of efficient, fast, and affordable public transportation system like rail system, establishment of universal, efficient, and totally free healthcare system, and building quality and affordable homes for workers and their families. TUCP current programs include capacity building for the protection and promotion of human and labor rights, revitalizing workers' organizing activities to help TUCP affiliates and unions to expand membership, reviving technical education programs for workers, their families, and communities, including youth and unemployed workers, participating with government agencies on the following: enhancing productivity, ending child labor, workers training, women empowerment, protection of migrant workers and informal sector workers, promoting occupational safety and health in mines and in other industries, banning harmful chemicals like asbestos, and HIV or AIDS control and prevention. TUCP also takes its pride in its efforts to unify the Philippine labor sector through the Nagkaisa Labor Coalition. As a lead convener of the Nagkaisa, TUCP is at the forefront in the fight against contractualization and in strengthening security of tenure and in other policy reforms to better the lives of the ordinary workers and their families. The Nagkaisa Labor Coalition is currently the largest labor coalition in the country, today composed of 42 labor federations and organizations. Challenges. During the 1970s, the trade union movement was dramatically ideology-based when left-leaning labor groups were out to oppose the Marcos dictatorship. TUCP, backed by President Ferdinand Marcos, was seen as a collaborationist. This branding has been for decades a challenge for TUCP, but with a new leadership, TUCP has recently become more a hardliner other than other groups, especially during its initial position on the absolute or total prohibition of contractualization.